just like the longest 30 seconds ever.
I was dancing to the countdown music.
Oh, well, hello, everybody. Watch me get glitchy. Everything's been fine until now. But anyways, everyone, welcome Sasha Graham, the beautiful Sasha Graham. Thank you so much for coming tonight and doing a Tarotnormal Investigation with me.
Ginger, there is nothing else I would want to do on a Friday night in October than a Tarotnormal Investigation with you.
That's awesome. So the guests will start trickling in, but what we do here is we'll have you tell the story, and you and I will pull cards, but the people in chat also pull cards with us. And so it's a collective investigation, and it's really fun.
This is excellent. I'm super excited for it.
It is awesome. So Sasha and I met. Hey, Jonathan. I guess first of all, let me say hey to a couple people, and then I don't know if Carla's back yet, but Carla's here, or she was here early at 8:48 a.m. My dear friend Julie Kushawatz. She is the author of the Mahat Tarot, Journey into Egypt, and Ancestral Path Tarot.
Hi.
And then her husband, who's here, Peter's here. All right. And then we have my sister from another mister, Michelle. And aloha, Jonathan.
Aloha, Jonathan.
Okay, who else we have? Okay, this is my son, Brendan.
Hi, Brendan.
Oh, he's so supportive of me. So people start trickling in. Okay, we've got Angie. Okay, now my chat's a little delayed, but Angie's here. Hi, Angie. As soon as it shows up, there's a delay here. Miss Ange, thank you for coming. Okay, this is so exciting. I'm so excited. Okay, so Sasha and I met through, it was called Tarot Space Tuesdays. And it was about the end of September when I joined. And I remember you asking, what subject shall we do next week? And I'm like, well, it's Halloween season. Let's do something witchy. And then the next week, nobody was raising their hands. I'm like, let's do something with vampires. And it ended up being a whole Halloween theme for a good month.
Yeah, that was so much fun. So I had started Tarot Space Tuesdays during the pandemic just because I was like so lonely, like so many of us were, and I wanted an excuse to like put on makeup and like see people. So it just became this like random thing. But I was like, so every week, what do you guys give me a subject? What do you want to talk about? And so, yeah, that month, it was 2 years ago, that month of October, I think we did like possessions and we did vampires and witches. It was super fun.
Right? Ghosties. The only thing we didn't do was lichens, so werewolves. We didn't get a chance to do that one. But
are you team werewolf or team vampires? Because I'm definitely team vampire.
Are you? Well, if I was to look at it from a romantic point of view, it would have to be vampires, because I couldn't imagine, sucking face with a lichen. What if he turned back into Lucian? I'm all for that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun, and I would love for, if we ever go to a pandemic again, we must do that again. That was fun.
Oh gosh.
I pray we don't, but
New York City is just finally getting
some other excuse.
What?
I said make up some other excuse to have one.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, Sasha, if anybody does not know who Sasha is, you're under a rock, of course. But do you want to speak about your up and coming?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I will, only because I do have something actually coming up next week. And the producers are always like, promote. And I'm not always the best at promotion. So,
so promote.
So next weekend, so a week from tonight, next weekend, October, whatever weekend that is, I'm going to be doing the live virtual event Tarotpalooza, which is this like big virtual thing with like so many incredible tarot teachers, including Barbara Moore and Elliot Adams and your tarot BFF and Granny Mad. Anyway, all of these fabulous tarot people. And Saturday is the big day. We each do like an hour-long workshop, but there's a VIP Friday night, like really fun thing. And then Sunday is a conversation between myself and Barbara Moore. So anybody out there who's interested in publishing tarot decks or wants, I mean, Barbara Moore is such a force in the world of tarot, but she's not on social media.
Right.
So you don't see, most people don't get to see her that much except through her books, her decks, and she just came out with the Trick or Treat.
She's like a phantom author, right?
She's an editor. She's the acquisition editor at Llewellyn. So she really shapes almost every deck that comes through Llewellyn.
Awesome.
Bears her imprint on it. So it's a really special thing that she's going to be talking about.
Oh, that's awesome. Perfect. Okay. So I want to dive in. So, I've already gone over the gist of it, what we're going to do. So if you want to just go ahead and tell everyone how you came to know Sacra di San Michele.
So first of all, when you invited me to do this, Ginger, I was like, oh, we have to do the Sacra di San Michele because, okay, so
it feels you haven't even started.
I'm so excited. So like 4 years ago, I think it was 4 years ago, Lo Scarabeo, the tarot company, which is located in Turino, Italy, and that's a northern Italian town right at the base of the Alps. It's where the Shroud of Turin is very famously on display there. That's where Lo Scarabeo is located, and they were having their 25th anniversary of being in business. Now, Lo Scarabeo's offices happens to be right next door to this big museum. So they created this huge museum show and invited tarotists from all around the world, myself included, because I do a lot of work for them. Right. And it was my first time. Yeah, it was my first time to Turino. And the minute I started Googling the region, I found this mysterious Sacra di San Michele. And
I've been wanting to do a castle type thing for so long.
Literally, and you guys, anybody who's watching, if you can like Google on your phone, pull up an image, Sacra, S-A-C-R-E di San Michele, Google it so you guys can get an image of it. It is literally an abbey high in the Alps. You can see it from hundreds of miles around. It is a symbol of Piedmont, the Piedmont region of Italy.
I live in Piedmont.
Piedmont, South Carolina?
not the same as Italy, y'all.
I'm going to come down. We're going to do some wine tasting. Really good wine country. Yeah. So I had culminated my work with Lo Scarabeo, and on the very last day that I was there, which happened to be Halloween, which happens to be my birthday, I took off on my own in a train.
Really, by yourself?
On my own, and I took a train, and I had arranged a taxi, but I didn't know, like, was the taxi really going to be there? Because, like, in a very kind of like Northern Italian way, there isn't really you have to drive to get up to the abbey.
Right.
And so this wonderful old man met me with his car, and he brought in it was like being in a movie, you guys. Like, literally, as you go through this tiny town, and of course there's a lake down below, and you look up, and like the fog clears, and high up as far as you can see is this castle, right?
Majestic vision.
And you just keep winding and winding and winding and getting closer and closer to it. And as chance would have it, it was first thing in the morning. I was the only one there.
Ooh, private tour even.
Private tour, and the taxi, he pulled open a newspaper, goes, "It take as long as you want," because he was like this, like
He was
very.
gonna wait for you.
He waited for me. So I went off to explore the chapel. Now, there's a million chapels in Europe. What makes this one so special? So one of the things that marks the Sacra di San Michele, which is the chapel of Saint Michael, is that it's on Saint Michael's line. And I don't know if we can see a show of hands of anybody who has heard of Saint Michael's line. Do you know what it is, Ginger?
Because I just read it.
So the St. Michael's line is this ley line that 7 sacred spaces devoted to St. Michael are all elongated on. And so I wrote it down because it begins, if anybody saw Star Wars, the one where Luke was on the island being like a Jedi, that is the Skellig Michael Island in Ireland.
Wow.
The line continues down to St. Michael's Mound in Cornwall, UK. It then continues down to the Mont Saint Michel, which is another sacred abbey in Normandy, France. Then the Sacra di San Michele. Then there's another one in Puglia, the Mont Saint Angelo. Puglia, another chapel in Greece, and then it culminates actually on the same ley line as Mount Carmel, right on the coast of Israel, where Jesus of Nazareth spent a lot of time around.
I was just going to joke and say, and it's connected to the pyramids.
And the line goes straight through the heart of Jerusalem as well.
That's amazing.
So
there's a lot of energy there.
A lot of energy. And guess when it was built, Ginger? It was built in, this gave me chills, 983.
Wow.
983. So we are talking about such an ancient structure, right? Now, the interesting thing is that it was used by Benedictine monks all the way up until the Middle Ages, and then it sat empty from the 14th century all the way up to the early 19th century.
Wow.
So for 400 years, it was doing God knows what.
Just all the energy culminating within it and nowhere to go. No people.
Nowhere to go. Or perhaps it was, maybe there were monks, living there. And this is something that we know in all mountainous cultures, from Tibet to South America. The higher you move into the mountains, the more you will find sort of wise sages meditating and kind of removing themselves from society. So I very much doubt during those 400 years that
it just sat there emptied.
The other mysterious thing about the chapel is so it's built onto a rock. So literally, again, like a lot of the temples in Tibet, where you're literally moving, because the mountain is so steep, you have to climb up ladders to get from one room to the next. There's this incredible staircase, and it's called the Staircase of the Dead. So very much in that meditation over death, traditionally the bodies and skeletons of monks, just like the Capuchin monks, if anybody's familiar with the Capuchin monks, were laid. So you would, as you were moving through the abbey, you'd be moving through the bones of the monks who had gone before you. And then at the very top of that staircase is a zodiac doorway. So literally the dead bones of the monks are moving toward the astral realm, which you as a monk or as a parishioner would be moving from up into the chapel. I mean, the place is wide.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I've been making some notes so we can ask some questions about. Okay, so when you first stepped through the first doorway, how did you feel? What did you feel?
I felt completely transported. And I think that And I'm not, the first thing you move into actually as a tourist is the gift shop, which feels like any kind of
sure.
sacred religious, like if you were going to go to the Vatican gift shop,
Yeah.
that doesn't feel like anything that
Yeah.
extraordinary. But to officially enter the chapel, you enter at the base of the staircase.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this is also the monument that Umberto Eco wrote The Name of the Rose about, that movie with Sean Connery.
Oh, really?
So, yes, you immediately feel as if you've been transported to like 1200. And because the staircase is so steep, and it has that the air thins.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I believe it was used as a meditation for death. And when you're in the space of death, anybody who's been with a dying person,
right,
knows that sense. The air gets thin, the space gets thin. I wouldn't even call it a threshold space. It becomes, I don't know, to me, something so much more than that.
It's like the veil is thinning for them. So it's the energy around. That's interesting.
And if we're looking strictly at a Christian viewpoint, the idea that you would move through that space of death before ascending to the heights, vis-a-vis, I don't know, heaven, the celestial realm.
Right.
Seems like it makes perfect sense. But I will not lie, it felt ominous as well. It felt bloody.
Yes, so we're here, yeah.
And it felt cold.
So it was very religious, but of course, along with religion comes the dark arts, because that in itself is a religion. So,
and supposedly that line of Saint Michael. Now, Saint Michael was famous for doing battle with Satan, and so that's how he's often viewed, right, as doing battle with the devil, and that's why they call the city of Turino the place where white and dark magic meet. But we know that there's all of that stuff that predates Christianity,
right,
and sacred places tend to be built on top of other sacred places.
Right. They just moved the tombstones.
They didn't move the energy.
Well, funny enough, you say darkness and light. I actually chose the darkness of light tarot to use tonight because it looked very ancient, and I don't know if you can see. Because I was thinking, what do I have that has the energy of a castle, So you want to pull some cards? What deck does everybody have?
I've got the Visconti Sforza.
Oh,
because I figured what better to use than the oldest Italian deck we have. And who knows, maybe some of the Viscontis or the Sforzas were actually visiting.
Yeah.
It's not so far from Milan. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from Milan.
Right. Okay. So, all right. Well, let's, we'll go little by little, and you can tell more of your story as you walked through that. But, normally I like to start with, what is the energy of the land? So being so energetic with ley lines, let's see what we can come up with what the tarot says about the energy of the ley lines in the land. What is this? Jonathan, did you get your deck? Okay.
I have my card, but I haven't yet.
What do you have?
Let's see. What? Oh, Judgment.
Oh,
Judgment. Are you kidding me? So Archangel Michael, people are kind of split on whether in the traditional deck the angel blowing the trumpet is either Gabriel or Michael, but it makes sense also that it could, and literally the rising of the dead, the four horsemen of the apocalypse, the
oh my gosh,
end of the world.
Right, that stairway leading up to, basically it was kind of a moment of judgment for them, right, before they went even further.
In theory, yes. Or, I mean, if we were going to go with the strictly kind of modern Catholic idea, right, that the bodies of the spirits of those monks would be the ones to rise in the end of days.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Or perhaps was this end of days story just created to cover up what really exists on that PowerPoint.
Well, that's interesting because I pulled the 10 of Swords.
What do you make of that?
Oh, yeah. So, okay, I need some
murder. There was definitely murder in that staircase.
Definitely, yeah. You know, it's like, here, let me help you with the stairwell.
Oops. Okay. Little showgirl situation. Oh, did you fall? Sorry.
Is there a body of water near the San Michele?
Yes, there is. Yes,
there is. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to say this is further down and not actually in the abbey yet. Of definitely and I want to say it was those modern day back then gang, some I don't know whether they're looters or whatever they are, but they definitely, more than one person, I think, went and killed somebody here. So I don't know. I think I'll stop there. He's literally in the shore in between. Oh, that's my finger. I thought that was sand. Like he's literally on the shoreline, but he is. I need light in here. So yeah, okay. So the energy around there, gosh, so with the Judgment card and then this basically the Death card. And then it's all about transitioning. So we know that the 10 is the end. So that's really
almost
interesting.
the end of the majors, right?
Right.
Card.
So I don't want to turn this gnarly light on. Hang on, let me turn a different light on. Okay. The other one's way too light. It's too much light now. That's not spooky enough.
Oh, but wait, somebody in the chat says that they pulled tiny trinkets in tarot. Says they pulled the King of Pentacles out of the Ghosts and Spirits tarot, which makes me think that somebody was murdered over money.
Yeah, that was I was gonna say treasure. You know, didn't they transport, let's say, treasure to, I mean, you know, those monks and the hidden treasures they had.
Well, and even think about like all right, so this has been around for almost over 1,000 years old, right? In that 1,000 years, think of how much plundering, pillaging, and where are people going to take shelter but high in, you know, a fortress or an abbey? People had to have been pulling up and living there, and especially when it was abandoned and using it for shelter.
And for some reason, I'm picturing gypsies. I don't even know if gypsies. So yeah, this is interesting. So the within the roots are the mysteries of the collective past, which hold the key to understanding our brief time on the mortal plane. I love that, Ange. Ange is good. We're gonna have Angie, but Ange, by the way, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. We need to do a Tarotnormal. She loves Gothic just as much as I do. So, okay. So we did a little bit on the ley lines. How about do we want to investigate? Let's ask about the energy of the abbey itself.
Okay, and I would also, if I may, just I would love to also investigate at some point what the energy of the abbey has to do with the occult connections to the city of Turin.
Let's do that right now.
I think we should do that right
now. Yeah. Like I said, the questions just come naturally as the story progresses. So absolutely ask anything. So repeat that question so everybody can.
Yeah, so the city of Turino is known as an entrance to dark magic, right? The place where light and dark magic cross, and not only because of the way it's laid out geographically, but there are these crazy statues all over the city. I've been to a lot of cities and a lot of towns in Italy. Torino feels like a vampire town. It's one of those cities where you enter a doorway and you walk in, and there's it's like Venice hiding behind. You wouldn't know it until you walk in. So it'd be a great place for dirt to hole up during a zombie apocalypse, because it is very much a fortress city, and the River Po goes right through it.
Oh, wow.
There are these macabre statues everywhere that literally do look like dark.
That's spooky to me. Statues is spooky to me anyway.
Very.
I think there's a soul in some of these statues. Okay, so repeat that question. You want to know the connection between the monks?
Yeah. I'm curious to know what the connection is between the Sacra di San Michele and the city of Turino. Okay. And I have a feeling it's all connected to that line.
Okay. All right. So the connection between the abbey itself and the city of Turino. And we don't have to pull just one card either, so we can pull multiple cards. Sometimes these questions need more than one card. All right, the connection. Oh, I just got...
What flew out?
All right, I'm going to pick these two that are on top. The Two of Pentacles. And I'm backwards here. Temperance. No. That's the Empress. Sorry. I don't speak Italian.
Look at the tower in the back of the Two of Pentacles.
Look at that.
Just like the Abbey is kind of towering over. And look how feminine this is. I knew it. This is about female magic. This is about the repression of feminine ancient religion, I think, in northern Italy.
And I had just the vision of oracles, like women as oracles. So there's a connection, there's like a duality.
Well, and the other interesting thing, especially about the Two of Pentacles and how it relates to witchcraft, right, is that it's the division of things in the material world. So, when we're doing traditional witchcraft and wanting to rearrange things in our life or bring things to us, the Two of Pentacles is very much that, like, kind of your own, the way in which that you cultivate change in the material world. And I love that it's feminine driven and that it's happening in the shadow of the Abbey. So the thing that just pops to my mind was that there was like a coven or a group of powerful women that were somehow connected, maybe in like a goddess cult to an empress type goddess.
I just love
that was subjugated and turned into what the dark magic is, but of course it's not dark. It's like shadow. It's
right. It's almost like they resided in the woods below, because this closer to the water, and maybe that's where they cast their circles and such. Or the music. I can just see it all.
I'm going to pull up mine. What do we have here? Oh, we have the tower.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, so that's interesting. So, oh my God, that makes me think that there's something about so all right. That there's something about the destruction of that the Abbey, the Sacra di San Michele, was built to cover up something about the women, and that only if it's destroyed, maybe it's some sort of the line is some sort of like a sorcerer spell,
right? Oh, that just makes perfect sense.
Over the subjugation of men in the Catholic Church.
Well, yeah, because if it's a line that's going to separate, so again, the duality comes in there. cross this line and see what happens.
Well,
The destruction of that tower.
And they also call that line the sword of St. Michael, the sword that he used to beat back the devil, to beat back the quote-unquote other. What is that traditionally?
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah. So, full disclosure, I didn't study about this because I wanted Sasha to tell the whole story, and I didn't want to. This is all surprising to me. I love it. I love it. So, Ace of Cups and Six of Wands.
Oh, Ace of Cups, very feminine.
And then
Wands.
Six of Wands, though. That's celebrating somebody from coming back from
a medieval parade.
Yeah. Okay, so Queen of Coins, then the feminine energy, the Queen of Coins, and Seven of Coins,
which is the pause, right? Which is the looking at what is there.
Right. So maybe they were forced to pause at a certain point and hide. Hang on, I started getting something and it went away. So Two of Cups and Seven of Wands. Very
feminine and masculine.
Mm-hmm. And defensive, so maybe at one point they had to defend this abbey.
But from love, like that's the interesting thing. Like if we're looking at the two cards, maybe as like the duality, to move from the Two of Cups, which is so heartfelt, to the Seven of Wands, which is
right. And here's another Two of Cups. Okay, and then Julie. Oh, she liked the name of the rose. The female was frightening and dangerous to the monks. Something feminine, something diabolical.
And think about the fact that the line ends in Jerusalem, in the holy city of Jerusalem, where
it ends there.
Yes, Muslim, Hebrew, and Christianity were the three. The Prince of Cups reversed.
Here's a good question. Wonder, is there two opposing forces at work? Shall we pull on that one?
Yeah.
All right, let's pull a card on that one. What are the two opposing? Poisoning. Somebody got poisoned and then stabbed with 10 swords.
Okay. I'm just pulling from the majors of my deck.
Okay.
Just because it's the Visconti Sforza, so
I have
minors.
I have the Golden Tarot of this Visconti, and I totally I modified that one. All right, so I've got interesting what I got. What'd you get?
I got. Are there two opposing forces at work? I got the Hangman.
Right.
I got the Hangman, which is interesting because it makes me think that the two opposing forces, when combined, turn into a completely kind of new reality, because the Hangman is like right before the Death card, right? So it's the moment in which, in theory, the occultist peers into the actual nature of the world and peers into divinity as it exists in all things and sees from a new perspective. So I think that perhaps we're making a mistake by looking at this as good and evil, male, feminine, black magic, white magic. Maybe there's a wholeness that we can embrace.
Okay, if somebody pulls up Temperance, I'm going to...
Hey, what did you get?
Okay, well, I pulled two for the two opposing forces, so I've got the Six of Wands. So I'm almost seeing that as the monks. But then I did Seven of Blades.
Ooh, that's a sexy Seven of Blades.
Right. So there's your right there, darkness and light going on.
And both masculine, both very...
It's all... men, plug your ears. It's always the men that mess these.
Masculinity strikes again. Just kidding.
Okay, so but I like the fact that it's like the hero comes home. maybe after fighting these opposing forces, and light win over the darkness on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just some idea that like it's not just about women. Oh, Jonathan got the Wheel of Fortune and the Devil. So this is interesting. Well, because this is the first time that a devil card has come up.
Right.
And Saint Michael is defined by being the first one to attack.
Ooh, here he is, Saint Michael.
So the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, there you go. Saint Michael and the Devil. So okay. That's fascinating. Okay, so I want to investigate the Zodiac doorway and the staircase of the dead. So we should start with the staircase of the dead, and then ask about the energies. Or, well, actually, let's pause for a moment. So tell me a little bit more about what you may have experienced while you were looking around.
Oh, so this is what was so interesting. The staircase and the door, the Zodiac doorway was was in a sense the most interesting part, because when you move through the staircase and you go out onto this plateau, and it's like this beautiful view of the Alps all around you. So of course that is absolutely stunning, but then you move into the official chapel part, and the chapel itself felt very it just felt very kind of bland, and you could see there were like, you know how there's like under chapels, like if you go to, there's always like the crypts underneath.
Right.
That was very interesting and beguiling, but was kind of off limits.
So you didn't get to go down there.
I didn't get to go down there. And I will also say that the line that it's on the, I forget which solstice it is, but the sunset aligns perfectly on that line as well. So it is also, and I would venture to guess the way that the windows are almost like in Machu Picchu, when the sun like comes through, like long,
very slender and long. Yeah. How interesting.
Yeah, that felt very almost cold to me. Whereas and that may also have something to do with the fact, I think the stairwell and that astrological gate may have been an older piece, that maybe like the chapel that had been built maybe was added maybe at the turn of the century. I don't know.
And that would make sense, that there might not, the energies wouldn't be stronger there. Okay, so you went up a staircase onto, where was the doorway, the Zodiac doorway?
It's right at the top of the stairs. So you're walking up this like vertical stairwell with all of these spaces where the monks had been laid out, where the bodies and the skeletal remains had been laid out. They weren't there when I went.
I was just going to ask, yeah. So,
but I got the sense that there was something in the rock. Like I got the sense that there was something buried. Actually, can we pull on that? I felt like there was
absolutely.
I felt like there was a lot hidden beneath. I feel like there were chambers. I feel like felt like being on the top of something that was much more, as if you could move into the mountain and there would have been like
more ancient energies. Okay, so I was kind of meditating on the photo I used. And I did see some underground caverns, but they weren't like, they were rooms, but there's definitely something underneath. So let's pull on the energies of what's underneath the chapel or the whole abbey. So underneath. What energies are infused in the rocks and stone? The abbey.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Mine's more romantic.
Look what card I pulled.
Oh my goodness.
The devil. The
There
devil.
he is. There he is. Okay, so we have some ancient dark rituals going on under there.
Well, and that's in theory, right? Wouldn't that be the whole point of a sacred line of
Right.
sacred religious monuments meant to battle? So what's underneath? I don't think it's just the Sacra di San Michele. I think it's every monument from Ireland to Greece to.
Oh wow.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, that throws me off. That doesn't throw me off. What throws me off is I have the 8 of Cups and the 7 of Cups.
Oh, that's so interesting. Well, you know what? Both of those cards, when I look at that, I think it seems to me to look. I wonder if that ley line, if the Abbey's not repressing something that gives people hope.
Well, I was wondering if this is some kind of a celestial connection.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. These ones are throwing me off. Okay, so underneath, so again with the light and the dark energies being underneath, you got the devil. Like maybe this one's being sacrificed. But she got away. She got away.
And if you look at the
dream.
Yeah, and if you look at everybody's cards in the chat, all of a sudden we've got these 3 of Swords, 9 of Wands, Knight of Wands, Strength. These are like the battle cards.
Oh, I like this one, Knight of Wands. Yeah.
Right? These are like hardcore. All that like, I don't know. It's so interesting.
Yeah, because I'm all about hardcore stuff, and here I get this fluffy cards. So there's also fluffy energy. There was one room for all the fluffy people who gathered around and did rituals. But you know, I almost feel okay. I'm starting to get something. There was someone who walked away from this whole darkness, and she didn't want to be a part of it anymore. She might have been a part of it and walked away, and decided to. She wanted to have a more of a celestial connection than a connection with the dark arts. So there might be a maiden energy there haunting the place. Okay, let me get Julie's up here.
Yeah. I was just reading that. I agree. Yeah. I'm totally online with that.
Wow, this is fun. This is fascinating.
I'm curious though, if is it dark because it's misunderstood? Is it dark because it was something innately powerful that posed an opposing force to the forces that be? The strong belief created that.
Okay, so.
Oh, and she just got the Queen of Cups.
Yeah.
She's saying
got. Do they walk away or choose to go deeper?
It's like a choose your own adventure. We'll go deeper.
Actually, I wanted to do more in underground, so let's keep pulling some more cards for that.
Ooh, I'm gonna switch my deck. I'm gonna change to the Dark Grimoire from Los
Okay. And then I'm gonna pull on that feminine energy of what I pulled. Julie says, if someone tells you you're evil long enough, you might start believing it too.
Isn't that true?
Right. So I want
everybody with trauma in their past.
Okay, I'm going to pull on that feminine energy, and then you can pull on more on that devil energy if you wanted to, or ask another question.
No, let's stay in one. Let's stay with the feminine.
Okay.
keep it streamlined.
Yeah. Okay, so I need clarification on the one who was able to walk away. Oh. She walked away for her love. A knight in shining armor came and got her. Knight of Wands. I love that armor on that horse.
So good. That deck actually looks like the movie taking place, literally. Like
really.
You know what? I am so gonna watch The Name of the Rose. It's actually, right. I am totally gonna pull that up on Amazon.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've never seen it either.
Right. So you know how sometimes crusaders come to, break up the party, so to speak, and she might have fallen in love with someone, and or he just rescued her or something. Or maybe he was, I feel like he was one of the dark knights.
Definitely.
Yes, he was one of the dark knights. And you know how we, fall in love with the mysterious.
Always.
Okay, what do we have here? For definitely feminine energy. She had to choose. What happened? Okay, everyone needs to watch. I'll have to watch. Okay, what did you pull?
Me, I pulled the Hermit.
Interesting.
I pulled the Hermit, and of course there's like a ton of Hermit energy up there, just because by the nature of it being a
monastery. Yeah, definitely.
But what I love about that is that, like, the Hermit energy is not just sitting there doing nothing. Hermit energy, removing yourself from society to understand the nature of the invisible world, something we tarot readers like.
That quest for inner truth of John's Ace of Swords there. That card makes perfect sense. Yeah. Awesome.
I want to go back.
Right. I know. I lived in Scotland for a couple of years, so I went to a couple unique, obviously Edinburgh Castle. But there's this tower I remember going to, and I can't remember the name of it. But I remember walking long spiral stairs. But it was like this open field and just a tower there. When I was the administrators for American Youth Soccer, one of the other administrators was Scottish, and when I described it to him, he knew exactly what I was talking about, but I can't remember it from today. So, but okay, so this staircase. So when you were walking the staircase, how did it make you feel?
It felt extremely male to me. I will say that. Like, and maybe it's just
energies there.
And maybe just because filmically, so many of the medieval movies that I would see about like knights and like fighting, and so it definitely had that like. It felt like there was secret treasure. It was like a movie set. Like it was like if it was like taking an acid trip. It was so, I can't tell you how steep it is.
Right.
Like how ancient it was.
Yeah.
And again, hearkening back to that, in theory, the Staircase of the Dead is meant as a meditation on death, that probably the monks maybe would go up and down. And I hate to even say this, it's entering my mind now as I'm talking, but I know that traditionally in a lot of religions, like in that, I think pain and flagellation is used, to put yourself to the point of transcendence, of transcending the physical physical body, almost in the same way yoga is used in the East to prepare the body for meditation. I think that may have been the function of some religious self-mutilation. I just do very much, or maybe it was just because it was a space of death, and that what is death but that moment at which you leave the physical body.
Right.
So
and leave the pain.
Heightened sense of transcendence out of the physical world into, back up to greet divinity.
Right.
Like, hey. But it was one of the it felt very cinematic. It just felt ancient. And what just grew up?
Well, it didn't face up. I usually do the faces up, but cool.
Another night.
Another night. I've got a lot of night cards tonight.
So do you think that that's the Knights Templar?
That did come to mind because they were everywhere, right? So,
yes, and actually, there's a town actually just north of Mount Carmel on the coast of Israel that all the Knights Templar, they're underground. I went and so the Knights Templar do figure in. Well, as you know too.
Well, let's pull on that. Is there Knight Templar energy there? I'm just being sloppy. Okay. Is there anything like a Knights Templar energy that have been there? Oh my gosh.
What?
I got the King of Wands. That puts a whole new storyline. So I will say yes, that the Knights Templar have been there. Oh, that kind of makes sense with the... Because weren't they also considered to be... Weren't they accused of dark... Dark energy?
of a cult, and they had like their secret rituals. And
right.
Oh, does anybody remember their function? I know they were kind of like an underground. Oh my God, I didn't read up on it. I know I knew this once, and now I don't. Right. But I just want to share the kind of creepy figure I've got there in the Two of Swords, which again is this male energy standing up and above.
What's at the feet? What is? Oh, you can't see my mouse.
Yeah, it's an animal. It's like an
okay. It looks like Winnie the Pooh from here. It looks like Winnie the Pooh,
and that looks like one of the monks.
Oh bother!
That's so creepy.
Oh my gosh,
that is so creepy. Oh, Jonathan got the 5.
Kiva's come in. Hi, Kiva. Where did he go? There he goes. Ooh. 5 of coins. Yeah. So I do know they held treasure for I don't know if it was for a king, but they had to keep moving treasure, but they had their own treasure posts, so to speak. And I heard that they did both good and bad. So it's like, I don't know if they stole a lot of that money. It's been a while since I've, here we go. Julie would know. They were supposed to guard the pilgrims who were pilgrimaging to the Holy Land, which brings me up to this.
Oh, wait a second. And what that makes sense too, because if you were going to pilgrimage to the Holy Land,
right?
And wouldn't the circuit, if you were dedicating yourself to Saint Michael, wouldn't you go and visit all of those locations?
Yeah.
Ending ultimately in Old Jerusalem.
Right.
Part of all of this.
I'm really on board with this Knight Templar thing because, I've gotten, to me, 3 knights here. Oh. Did I have one more? I thought I had one more. All right, who else? They're coming in. Jonathan, stop Googling. It's cheating. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Google.
Guardians of the Pilgrims. Okay.
Oh, they had religious artifacts in their treasures. I bet you there's religious artifacts under
there we go. They were also suspected to have the Holy Grail at one point.
Cups, the Ace of Cups, the feminine.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting chills now. Oh my gosh. We're getting somewhere. It's not just monks. We got Knights Templar energy. Okay. There were monks and had been excommunicated from the church and took golden coins. They began. Right.
And what is northern Italy known for traditionally, but being the part
grapes
of Italy that's known for commerce. And that's why traditionally that was the wealthy part of Italy, was the northern part.
Oh, how interesting. Wow.
Right,
so there's definitely some hidden treasures in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The bones and
this is the period of bones of the saints and rebellion. Oh yeah. This stuff held power. Right. So they did take bone. Did you say bones of the saints? You did. So yeah, these bones were said to hold those, the powers of the saints. Do you want to?
Yeah, so I think we should pull a card on if there is something buried and hidden underneath the Sacra di San Michele that no one has uncovered yet.
Right.
And could it be connected to the Knights Templar and to maybe a piece of history that nobody knows about yet?
That nobody knows about. Okay.
That maybe the Knights Templar protected and buried. Or maybe something to do with the Holy Grail.
I was just going to say that. Okay. What's hidden that we don't know about yet?
We're in our own movie right now.
Right? Okay. What is hidden that needs? Okay. If I get the Ace of Cups, I'm going to die.
I know.
Oh, but I did get the Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, which Jonathan had gotten, which is the center point of the universe.
Oh my gosh.
Right? That everything revolves around.
Ruota della Fortuna. Look at all the stars. Oh, I see celestial beings. I don't know if you do, but I see, here we go. Celestial beings.
So I asked exactly what is there?
Oh, I'm seeing the Knights Templars spirits around there, still trying to protect the treasure.
And I've got what is there? And look at this, like a giant cup and people all around.
Oh my gosh. Definitely.
I asked what is there and where can it be found? Like how can it be found?
Okay, I just had a wonderful clarifier. What do you see?
There's a book. It's not just a cup to be found, but there's a book. There's a sacred manuscript hidden underneath.
Oh, awesome. So I feel like the Knights of Templar, remember I said the Knights of Templar, where am I? Are still there to protect the treasure. That's what I see in the background. And then I pulled the Seven of Wands. So I still feel
so again
the Knights of Templar their spirits are still there protecting that, and that's why we haven't found anything yet.
It really was visceral pieces of the cross and blood.
Is that on this one? No,
two more down.
Who's it? Okay.
So you know what? I just see that Jonathan pulled the Hermit as well. I wonder if there isn't a group of people who are working with the site remotely.
Ooh. And you got the King of Wands. Wasn't that my king too? That he was a wand? Yep. He was the King of Wands. Ooh. This is getting juicy.
Oh, and Julia just got the Prince of Coins holding bread, the body of Christ.
Oh my gosh. How
Ooh, I have chills.
I know. Like I said, it's getting juicy here. Okay. Oh, what else do we want to know?
Are you recording this?
No.
Oh no.
Well, it goes on YouTube. I mean, it'll be on YouTube. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
good. All right. So
YouTube's recording it.
I need to like retrace this because I'm going to use this in something.
Yes.
I can't wait to watch the name of. I can't.
The name of Christ again. Yeah.
Because I think that's something about a secret too, and it's that kind of thing that like author. Yeah, that is a relic, right? that authors often like cue in right to the energy that's right there, and of course, yeah. Didn't Umberto Eco also do something with tarot?
I don't know.
I think he did. I think it played heavily, or alchemy. I know.
Right.
Yeah, played into something.
Okay.
But anyway.
What?
So are we saying that we think that perhaps the what's under there is actually
the cup and scrolls? Could be. Who do we get to go investigate? No, it needs to remain hidden. That's a mystery that needs to remain hidden.
You think so?
I don't know. Yes and no. Part of me says yes, part of me says no. Because, just the way they just changed the Bible up, I don't know if somebody found it, if they'd want to destroy it so we wouldn't find out some truth.
But what if it's hiding in plain sight? What if the tarot already has the answer? I think the best mysteries are right in front of us.
Right.
Like literally, like all you need, like the whole point, right, of the symbolism and those with eyes who can see. I've always thought that tarot was the book of the things that hide in plain sight.
I love it. I love it. That gave me chills. Okay, so let's talk about that Zodiac doorway. Did you go through it?
Yes.
Or you said you did. You were able to.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You have to move through the doorway in order to get outside onto the
okay.
Yeah. In order to get outside, and then move into the chapel.
Okay. So how was it? Did you feel like you were walking through a veil or energy field or anything?
I won't lie. Compared to the energy on the stairs was so strong that it almost felt like, and then you walk through the door and you're in the fresh air of the Alps. And
so the magic was lost once you walked through it.
Yeah, but that would make sense, right? If you're moving up astrally.
And I just had. Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I just had the vision of Stargate, and the gate's closed right now. Zodiac signs. Oh, let's see if it's a Stargate of some sort, or if it's a portal. Oh! Stop.
I'm going to switch to
10 of Cups. Yes, it's a portal. No. All right. Let's see if it's some kind of portal. And right now it's closed. It's the Zodiac door.
Are you asking, is it a portal or what is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm asking if it's a portal. And then this just totally jumped out at me.
Oh my God. I think that the what? Ooh. What is that?
I believe it's Judgment. Il Giudizio. Who speaks Italian?
That looks like Judgment. Because it's like judge.
Yeah, I think it's a Judgment. The gateway to heaven. It's the stairway to heaven.
What is the
Okay.
stairway to heaven? And I think what's interesting, I have a funny feeling that the stairs are actually where the power and the sacred rituals, not
Yeah.
the chapels up above.
Right. Right.
Because the
Well,
stairs are
absolutely.
metaphorical for where you're moving, right? In
Mhm.
theory, all religious structures, be it a temple or
Yeah.
a church or even a witch's hat, is pointed up,
Right.
right? And so to actually worship on stairs, on what is leading up toward the divine.
Yeah. Well, when you said you got to the chapel and just felt you still and cold, it's almost like the facade.
Yeah. Like the show, like what they put on for the tourists.
Right.
Like
Right.
tourists come to New York City and might think it's like the statue, like do the tourist stuff, but the heart of New York is someplace else. Oh, look at what Jonathan got.
Tower and Temperance.
Tower again.
Okay. Judgment, Tower, Temperance.
All right, here's my card. It's, ooh, the Five of Cups. I don't like that one.
Well, if you think about it, though, the sorrow that people feel of those who passed on, who transitioned, might still remain. Oh, kid, Blaze. I modified this deck because they sold out of it, and I thought I was so upset. And then they reissued it, but they reissued it with white borders that totally took away from the artwork. So I cut the bottom off, and they shuffle like crap. Oh. Okay.
I love it though. But what's interesting about Jonathan's cards that if it's a gate toward a blasted tower and temperance,
Right.
just destroying everything previously known and coming into a new kind of fusion of the world.
Right.
That what Jonathan his cards that creates that's a very transformative gate where once you step through, nothing is ever the same.
Right. And so, because I'm looking in this Ace of Blades, and it looks like there is a city in the clouds behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So a new truth. That stairway was all about new truth.
By the way, you guys, I'll go back into my phone. I'll put up my photographs on
Yes.
where do you think, should I put them on Instagram and Facebook both?
Yeah, Instagram. I always see you in Instagram. Or in the Hidden Hollow. You're still in the you're still a member of the Hidden Hollow, my Facebook page. Okay. So both, I would do both. That would be awesome. I want to know if this portal is ever going to open again. This portal up. I feel like it's a closed portal at this point. I still am envisioning Stargate, where you go into just walk through it and you're in a different dimension altogether, a higher realm of some sort. Okay. I guess if you use your imagination, it will. Page of Cups.
Oh, well, it needs something young to open it. It needs a new energy to open it up. Right? That's like the dream.
And it's almost like she's bringing an offering to it as well. It's interesting. What you got?
I got temperance.
We got a lot of temperances coming up today.
Mm-hmm.
That elixir of life. Oh, I'm still getting Jesus energy off of that one.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I like that. So just harkening back to, I'm gonna take this to where my daughter would probably join in the conversation. I have a little girl who's about to turn 19 who's non-binary, and one of the interesting things about the temperance card that I like to think of is how it's about holding all options. It's about complexity. It's not just blending, but it's the capability of holding all possibilities.
Yeah.
And so you pulled the Page of Cups about will the Stargate ever
Yeah.
open again? It seemed to me like something very pure and something very innocent, with the ability to imagine maybe what us old folks can't imagine. And it makes me think immediately of my daughter and her generation, and the way they're kind of taking gender and throwing it aside, like that. So it doesn't even, oh, look, the Knight of Coins and the Magus. Oh my God.
That's awesome.
That's so powerful. So yeah, like that it will open when a new dawn is kind of like and I don't know about anybody else, but this fall feels like suddenly everything is open and everything is
yes. I almost felt that way last fall, that it was something magical was going to happen, and then it wasn't. And the energy shifted for me, and then it wasn't that magical season that is normally magical for me. But this time I feel that going through me now, that something this fall is a special fall.
Yeah. So I wonder if we're not at the precipice actually of something quite good and something quite new.
Yes.
And something with the energy of a Page of Cups, with this like open, imaginative, youthful.
Well, the aliens are supposed to make themselves known this year.
Well, all right.
It's my celestial. It's the aliens. I was told I would channel. This is me channeling the otherworldly beings.
You look darling. You look gorgeous in that field, looking up.
Okay, so what other magic did you feel while you were there? Or was that about it? Once you walked.
Somebody got the Queen of Cups, which is the mother, right? The mother of the Page of Cups. I have to tell you, for me personally, that trip and that day, so the day that I went to the Sacra di San Michele was the last day of a trip that had begun at the UK Tarot Conference, where I had been brought over to speak. Then I had gone to Paris for, I think, 4 or 5 nights, then on to Turino for about 2 weeks. And it marked the beginning of what would be about 4 years of nonstop international travel for me.
Wow.
And I had actively been working magic to start traveling, because back then my daughter was much younger. We didn't have the budget. So I had actively, and so I do feel like, in a sense, that it was the beginning of something. That it was, and it was because it was my birthday, and because it was October, and not even 2 years later, I would be at Mount Everest Base Camp again, in these very sacred spaces high in the mountains. And a month after I was at Mount Everest in Tibet, I was at the Dead Sea in Israel and in Jerusalem. So now that I'm actually articulating
your own little lines,
I traveled, and then last November I was in Greece, which is also on the line.
Oh my gosh! Look at you!
So
look at you!
Maybe the portal will open again. I have to go to Ireland and down to Puglia.
Oh, take me with you to Ireland. I would love to.
Maybe I have to. Maybe we have to. I don't know. I find, but what I do think is interesting about all of that is, and in relation to magic in and of itself, is this idea of being in alignment.
Right.
In alignment with the expanding energy of, like, with your high priestess self, being in alignment with the expanding energy of the universe.
Yes.
So maybe there's a lesson in that line of Saint Michael for all of us. To be our own portal.
Right. I like that. Yes. Because for me, I feel like my gifts are really flowering this month. And so that for me would be a portal opening.
I think we should all pull cards on what kind of a portal we can open for ourselves if we stand inside our own magic.
Okay, but first let's do this. Let's have an closing energy of the Sacra di San Michele. Let's pull cards on the overall energy. Something that we can take away from this experience. So something we can take away from this experience. Apparently my do not disturb is over. The overall energy is Sacra di San Michele. And what can we take away from it? Okay. Aww.
Oh, 10 of Cups.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at it. It was a wonderful journey.
And I got the devil.
I was just going to say,
I'm obsessed with shadow work, so what
there
can
you go. There you go.
make me happy?
Julie got the moon card. That's fascinating.
Not surprising. Not surprising.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see what Ange got. Ange got the Six of Swords. That is really interesting. We're leaving. So we've come from a it came in then I lost it again. We've come to a new we've come to a new journey on that, haven't we? Because now we have brought in the Knights Templar and that whole magic in there, and then possibly holy relics of Jesus. So that's really interesting. Okay. Is Jonathan still with us? You're sleeping. Here he is.
Oh, he got his stalker card.
Yes, let's celebrate. Sip, sip, everyone. Sip, sip.
Cheers. Attention.
Okay, now I love your question. What portal, Sadie, what portal is going to open up for us?
Yes. Ooh, what deck do I want to use? I'm going to use the Deviant Moon for this one.
Oh, I'm on a different deck. I'm going to do zombie. No. Oh.
So what's our question?
I think you said what portal is going to open up from within
if we
us?
stand inside our magic, our high priestess.
Okay, if we stand inside our magic, pull an oracle card. She's speaking to me over here. Okay, what portal?
I've got mine.
Oh my guess. Oh my goodness. All right, if I take my jumper, I've got religion and the call of the night.
Ooh,
that's intriguing. But if I were to pull on the top, love conquers all, enduring loyalty, eternal love, lasting commitment.
Very nice.
Would you get
a reverse devil card? Tiny Trinket's got the two back to the two of Pentacles.
What portal can we open up if we stand in our own magic? So devil.
Oh, and I got the Queen of Swords, which is brilliant because I'm just starting a book.
Do tell. Oh, Peter's been lurking in the shadows there. He's got the Six of Cups.
Very cool.
Very cool. So you're starting another book. Look at you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Any hang on, Jonathan. Justice and Page of Cups. This has been fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow. So what are you working on? You want to share or keep it a secret.
I
It's one of the secret relics. It's a secret relic.
It is a secret, but I can tell you it is quite gothic, and I think that everybody's going to be quite delighted. It's kind of like a dream come true for me. So
yes,
we'll announce it in a little while.
Whatever it is, you
got it. You got it.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So, Sasha, I hope you enjoyed this. I know I did.
So much fun. Thank you for bringing me back there. It was just like going back for a visit, at least in my imagination.
Right. I love it. And you brought the energy to us too, so that, because in my mind, I definitely was there as you were leading us through the corridors and up the mountain and everything. Wow. So this has been really fun. I appreciate you coming on here. And I'm just really still intrigued about the whole Knights Templar avenue we went down. So
very curious. Very, very curious.
So Ange, thank you for coming. Everybody, thank you for coming and doing this with us. It was a lot of fun. And I've been wanting to do something castle-y, and I'd love to have you on if you have any more haunting places sometime, because I'd like to do this once a month. If I get enough people, I'd love to do it more than once a month. It's so much fun, but especially it was perfect timing for Halloween and your birthday month, and my favorite season of the year is October.
Yay!
Last year, I didn't take down my Gothic house until the day before Thanksgiving.
Well, that's the gift of being a tarot reader. It's Halloween every single day.
Yeah. All right. So, Sasha, if you can stay on for a moment, I want to just thank everybody once again for joining us. I loved your cards and the readings. And yeah, we got a lot of repeater cards, so it kind of validated a lot of what we were touching upon. So thank you, everyone. Okay, until the next Tarotnormal. Do you have anything coming up that we want to stay tuned for?
Yeah, just Tarotpalooza next week, and then wait, I do have something else virtual. I'll be, if anybody wants to travel, I'll be keynoting at the Kingston Lenormand conference that Marilyn Shannon is holding, Lenormand and Tarot Conference. In November. And if anybody's going to be close to New Jersey, I'm going to be at the Chiller Theater signing my old 80s movies, and the entire cast of E.T., Daisy Duke, Cheech Marin, Samantha Mathis.
Yeah, I was going to bring up your acting, if anybody, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to keep that in the closet. I love growing up. I loved watching all the B horror movies. So I'm sure I've seen you, not even realizing it was you until now, going, I know.
They were really low budget, but
I know, but I just liked anything horror, and I didn't care, even like the stupid, three-headed shark stuff.
Yeah.
Anything that was haunted and gothic, I was watching. I was watching it all. So
that's why it was so much fun.
All right. So this was fun. I loved it. So thank you, everybody. And until the next time, I will see you soon. Bye. Bye.